Hi everyone and welcome to my class today. My name is Alicia Redshaw and I own Scrapbook Fantasies in Gladstone, Queensland, Australia. I am super excited to be part of this Scrapbooking Fun Summit and to be able to bring you my awesome family selfie patchwork layout class. So this is my family. We're pretty wild. There's 6 of us. This page expresses us perfectly. Laugh, memories, always remember, love forever together. And that is us. Our awesome free gift for this Scrapbooking Fun Summit is this fabulous downloadable word sheet. Let's get going with the class. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start building the outer frame of my layout. And I'm going to use my creative ruler, which I designed and we manufacture right here in Gladstone, Queensland. So I'm going to take this piece of 12 by 12 white cardstock and I am going to cut it into a 1-inch frame. So this line here on my design ruler is the 1-inch mark and I'm going to line it up with the 1-inch mark and I am going to cut my 1-inch frame. We are going to use the middle of this to match our photograph. Let's do all 4 sides. Now we're going to take a piece of my cutest garden. It is garden, it says farm, but it is garden. My piece of my cutest garden, paper number 1, and we're going to cut that down to 11 inches by 11 inches. Then we're going to cut the middle out of that, again, to a 1-inch frame. Line it up with the 1-inch mark. Cut in 1 inch from each end. So if you take the cut in 2 bites or 3 bites and not press so hard, less likely for your ruler to move or your paper to move or to slip or tear. As you can see, my design ruler's got a stitching guide and a tearing side as well. Okay. So then let's take a second piece of white cardstock and let's cut it down to 10 3/4 inches by 10 3/4 inches. Now we're going to stick them together. It doesn't work sticking the frame to the frame because it can get twisted. So we're going to add tape. Don't stretch the tape. Now I'm going to turn a little bit over on each piece of tape and crease it. So I'm turning back and I'm creasing. Tape is a lot more forgiving than glue and less likely to wrinkle. And now I'm just putting it on here and I can move it around because I've only got a little tiny bit of tape exposed. peel it out. Do the next. Peel back a little bit in each corner so that each side piece of tape has a bit exposed and a pull tab. Then we're going to pop this on here with an even border. We're ready to go. So now let's take those two pieces, and I have a 5" by 7", so a 7 by 5 family photo. This is my family. This is myself and my husband Quentin, and then we've got Milton, Naomi John, Noah, and Amelia Ann. So we are going to mat our photograph. So what I'm going to do is, just in case I wasn't exact with my craft knife skills, I'm going to even up 2 sides. Oh, not quite. Even up 2 sides. And then I am going to cut a 5 1/8 by 7 1/8. But you just do whatever works with your photo. So I'm just adding 1/8 to each side. And that is inches. It's all inches around here. 5 1/8 by 7 1/8. So then we get a tiny bit of white. And then what we're going to do is even up 2 sides of our cutest garden number 1, and we're going to cut 5 3/8. So we're going to go halfway between 5 1/4 and 5 1/2 inches. And 7 3/8. So halfway between 7 1/4 and 7 1/2. Then we are actually going to cut the middle out of those. So waste not, want not. We're going to use some of this in our patchwork. You could cut this neatly with a craft knife. You could do the turn a little bit out technique we used on our background, but you don't necessarily have to. So I'm going to fully prepare my photo. Ready, so when I get to the end, I can just stick it on. My husband Quentin calls it, or Q, you might know him as Q, or you might know him as Quentin. He calls it the fluff and stick. So I fluff around preparing everything and mucking around the pieces, and then I just stick it all together at the end. So I am going to use, to raise this up, I am going to use chippy strip. So chippy strips are 1/4 inch, this is the 1/4 inch wide, 1 millimeter high white chipboard. It's got a recycled content. It's also got a high cotton content. That's why it's beautiful, crisp white. We make them ourselves, so we don't make the chipboard, but we do cut the chipboard into the strips as a foam tape alternative, trying to reduce our plastic footprint in our business and our crafting. And they're very, very popular. In a pack, you'll get 4 1/2 inch wide, 9 1/4 inch wide, and 8 1/8 inch wide pieces of chippy strip. Okay, that's ready to go. Put that with our layout. I think that's going to look quite nice. Now let's cut some 1 1/2 inch squares from our papers. We need 18 in total. So just neaten this up a little. This is paper 1. So I'm going to come across to like the 7.5 inch mark, and I'm going to back cut. So I'm going to do at 7.5. Oh no, I'm at 8.5. 8.5. 7. So I'm just coming back 1.5 inches at a time. 5.5. 4. 2.5. And then 1. Ooh. Actually, I don't need that one. I think 4 of that's plenty. Yeah, I think 4 of that's plenty. So then we've got paper number 6. So we're going to cut a 1.5 inch wide strip from paper number 6. So 12. Make sure it's right. Come back 1.5 inches. Beauty of this piece is we get 3 patterns. So we get the tiny butterflies, we get the tiny strawberries, and we also get the green. So that one's a bit dodgy in the middle. So I might do 3 butterflies, 3 strawberries, and 2 green. Okay. So let's use a bit of this paper number 5. Let's cut a 1.5 inch strip. I think that's enough. So we'll use, say, 3 in that pattern and 3 in the pink. And oh, that's us done. So I've got enough. I'm not putting them in order yet. Got enough. I'll sort of go on like that. We'll put our photo on like that. And then we'll cut out some of our words. So let's paint our title and do a little bit of mixed media on the background. So we're going to get our metallic watercolors. They get a workout. Sit this up in the lid. Move this away. And let's do a bit of this like dark pink here. Let's mix a bit of a lime green. And we'll use a little bit of the purple. How does that sound? So all you really need to do is make sure that you leave your watercolors to dry. So they're going to get all mushy and soggy, but that's okay. But we're going to leave them to dry. A bit of this lime green and a bit of this yellow to make a bit more of a limey green. Rightio. Mix it around. We're going to paint it pink first. Start at one end so that you'll see that at first it kind of just soaks in. We're kind of just prepping the surface. The metallic raises up. Don't know if you've ever noticed, but metallic paint, watercolor, whatever you're using that's metallic, sits on the surface. The metallicness does. Well, it should. I've not had it behave otherwise. Okay. Try not to pick up some of the smush from around. Let's do a second coat. Now that one's sort of soaked in a little. Let's give it a little dry. Another coat. Oh, it's really sitting nicely on the surface now. So we're going to put this on, and then we're going to add a little bit of the purple, I think, to our title. Yes, boys are in the photo. I'm using a pink and purple title. My boys don't mind. They have flowers on their baby pages. They don't mind. They just love being included in scrapbooks. Both very creative in their own way. They're all creative. Okay, let's give that a little rinse. I'm going to come into our purple a bit. And we're just going to touch onto our selfie word, just doing sort of pooly puddles, like that, sort of pooly bits on our selfie word. Just sort of pooly bits of our, so it's not completely, here we go, we're going to look at that after and do something. Sit that over there for a little bit. Rightio, that brush is too small for the next step. They're to dry. Lay your brushes down to dry so that they don't get damaged. Got a bit bigger brush here. Can't use my favourite fan brush for this technique because it just doesn't fit. So a bit of pink. Rightio. Just pick up some of the stuff underneath and beside. Okay, so we're going to have our title here and a bit here and a bit here. So let's put a couple little flakes. If you go like this with it, like that, you'll get sort of lines. We don't really want lines. And we want a little bit up there. We sort of want it in sort of 3 places. Let's just do it. Give that a bit of a rinse. Let's pick up some purple. Oh, so there's more water in the purple, which means that we're getting bigger droplets. So the more liquidy, the bigger the droplet. And then let's come here with some yellow. Oops, I got purple and yellow into a green, and let's get some of this green here. Let's mix these two together. And we're just going to put a couple little splotches here and there of our green. I'm going to get a cleanish brush, and we're just going to use it to suck up from the pans where we kind of got purple in the wrong colour. And then here we've got a bit of this green in this one. And then we're just going to suck up the yellow out of here on our brush. There we go. So I'm actually going to leave that out somewhere to dry. The desk, somewhere there. Okay. Our next step, let's prep our squares, put them all over. Put some tape on the back. I like tape because it means I can move the squares and pull them up if need be. I can also roll the tape off the back if I decide I want to change the side. And let's cut some stuff out from our sheet. Stars are good. Stars are nice straight lines. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out some words, and I'm just going to cut out things like, what's this top row? Remember, family, together, memories. Remembering that I designed this sheet just for this class. Let's put some chippy strip behind our big stars. Get some thin chippy strip for behind our words. So I know that on my design ruler, the 1/4 inch mark is a 1/4 inch from the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my 1/4 inch mark with a 1/4 inch from the edge. And my name's Alicia and I love math. So I know that I can stick my squares a 1/4 inch apart. So I'm just going to lay them out. I like that. Looks good. So we're going to lay them out with 1/4 inch gaps. I'm going to find my center. And then I'm just going to stick my squares on. Because I like math. And I know that a 1/4 inch should be the right gap. So my Crab design ruler has inches, halves, quarters, and eighths. Now the 1/2 inch is 1/2 inch wide, but the 1 inch is not 1 inch deep. That's on a separate line. Just making sure my butterflies are the right way out. And strawberries as I go. So now let's do our top row. Yep. Stick our photograph on. Some glue on our chippy strips that we've already added. Turn it to the side. Put our family selfie on. Let's put it on so the Y sort of hangs down there. Like that. And I think I'll put some journaling here about that it's become a real tradition doing our selfie whenever we're together. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue, a little bit of our glossy accents on the thicker parts of our chipboard. We cut this in our workshop at our store in Gladstone. I designed this title especially for this class. So I'm just going to make sure the thicker bits over the edge, aren't going to smush out. I'm just spreading it a little bit, so on the little curly bits, just putting a little bit of the glue. And then we're going to just eyeball it. Nice. Now let's add our stars, and I'm going to be a little random with my stars. Use them to accentuate, draw the eye to certain places. And then I'm going to use words. And then some things are going to go over into my outer border, so it doesn't look like I, made a mistake and had to stick that on later on. So there we go. So some little up closes, so you can take some screenshots with your device. There is a kit for this class. There we go. And you can see the splatters in the background. Just bring the eye in and make it all make sense. Thank you for watching my family selfie patchwork layout class today. Bye.